Now 4 years and I said 3 years into Nana Akufo-Addo administration, you say be a good tool in the scheme of our affairs. Nana must encourage to maintain his relationship with him and ensure a firm grip on him to avoid any damaging loose talk that may affect our chances so far. His public comments have been favorable. The MPP is talking about Nana Jerry Rawlings.
Yes.
Say na me answer. I said the MPP led by Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings. The NDP led by Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings must be assisted to undertake its activities and to ensure that they file and contest the 2020 election. It is obvious that whatever votes will be garnered by the NDP will be vote that would otherwise have gone to the NDC. Oba ima.
Yeah, that way.
MPP for Tron Krata we say Nana Akufo-Addo mombo so ne Rawlings be yonko.
Yeah.
NDC for ye nyina nwanwa say. Ubehunu baby na Nana Kunedu ahia Nana Akufo-Addo no ahage no. So ya mana ye yaw.
A party
ase no invite Nana Kunedu. Party baby abako program bia no invite Nana Kunedu ko no ne Nana Akufo-Addo ensa no mo ye anfe Nana Kunedu ko no de ne kunu ko Nana Kunedu ko no de Rawlings ko afi ye hwe na Nana Kunedu ne Nana Akufo-Addo ene Rawlings ababa ye nyonkofo yesi na die na ekoso yi NDC fo nyina say na die sense president Rawlings ya ogina NDC campaign so a ombo Nana Akufo-Addo din offend the short man.
Yes.
Omonidio offend short man.
That short man.
I feel all of a sudden they become best friends. Not knowing say book where they are told say a plan a woman yes a Rawlings factor. I'm a Rawlings yare ya didn't go to hospital. Sabe the tea and say Nana Kunedu frɛ Nana Akufo-Addo catch and say unua no da hospital wa ha o nya ho o se yamfa nko nya ho e me yade no ko hospital ye ko hwe no wawu akwa ne pa ne ewu. Now book we kire say yambo Nana Kunedu with resources sika pickups yambo no bibia no file no contest esa say o contest here obi obeto aba ma Nana Kunedu bia na sa vote na say keko NDC nti wo mon say vote no mayen Nana Akufo-Addo ne na pamfo
bo samunyuma
obaka so mo no poison na wo mu me hu bita Nana Akufo-Addo ne na pamfo ne sa achimfo mo chiro sa buku yi obaka so mo no poison a wo mo de enka wo mo hwe se bi obaka fa Jombo Edo wo mo si wo mo de say Nana Akufo-Addo
page 22
to item 2.4.
Okay.
I see it is perhaps not too good to admit publicly. It is perhaps not too good to admit publicly, but that his performance has been short of all general secretaries. Going forward, we should manage the level of competence which faces us as a serious political party. His actions and inactions are a complete definition of wealth accumulation agenda. I'm saying Oba Jombo Edo hu dia. You want to compare your general secretary Oba Bedi MPP general secretary ni ono na enya kura. Na ne o yeri nyina say only the sika pe na ope ampa. Jombo Edo so no ye galamsey bi. Say the report by. Ekwawusi no. I'm saying his action and inactions are a complete definition of wealth accumulation agenda. His blatant involvement in galamsey in the Wasa, if found, could be an embarrassing state of affairs. Say, one general secretary, one jitu so ya galamsey, and pass about that. Say, Uncle say or ya galamsey, no, I be Mugasia me na. I'm say the last report prepared by Dr. Amwako Tufuo affirms that the fact, as well as the revelation about the monies he took from 183 candidates for government appointees. Now, MPP for Nkrata we say Jombo Edo no ye ni general secretary no on momode government appointment. Now, the oyi say oni nam no agiti sika fi government appointees wo. Sika no pe. Na ye be ni say yen kura na ye hu no yen serenkyere no kakra yen serenkyere kakra say ye be pe obi a obetubi yi na Jombo edu efiri ho na ye de general secretary papa ba ensi ye esi wow wa maami ye friend osolo wusu enkrata we say wo mo man agenda say on close down radio stations na o close radio stations ni wie no o mo say ye man 70%. I didn't tell man 70%. I'm say ye ma also 70% because idea ye ka chene so oye be wa anya ni nyina mo aye. I'm say o close radio station, I'm ka chene say mo close radio gold. Now so I didn't tell mo close radio. So when close radio gold and ka obi obeka say na na mo close aban NDC for radio station, because oh, na say radio gold NDC say ye close here. Oh agenda no. Thank you, na fa. Na so hima dia omo ye ma me ye gu radio gold no be ema obi ehunu say a agenda to kill NDC radio stations enti wo so man 70% eno so NC
dia na ya sa mark wa
ya mark o enti wo ma say ejuma ye de share won san wa ya na na omo ye wie no obuku we mu say omo ka kire professor den say radio stations no need license but omo wo mo license 10 years license Oma radio stations, MPP radio stations, no, almost 10 years license. I say, Obian to be found in Sankan for the next 10 years. Into on Tiaye. Now, so I buy a Tiama wom. Now, Ongu XYZ, Ongunu, Power FM, Ongunu, Capital Radio, Kumasi, Ongunu, Sa radio stations in your Ongu, Nina, won Krataim. Now, so Jenny MPP, that's how Jenny, dear woman, ye, ayo, sa Krata, we mua. Eya rekuo edini na wonim aban no se de wo mo ye nyina no ade na o ka pay 28 eno pay 28 me dase hwe obahima me poso de awie ma rekuo kakra ne ekwan ya ye fa so ye de fa abawomia o ko pay 2
kodigi
MPP for say wo mo mpo obi anani ati bebre so boye flag bearer.
Okay.
Woman po bi ani ati bebre so fa Canada Japan a de yesi e be ye ne yentumi ye e na ofa lanchiremanti a yentumi ve yemfa obi o ye mumu kakra o ka se ko ha na okọ. Thank you. The one they can control a poodle see e do kan a stooge. See, although the Santi group within the current MPP is gearing itself to take over the party after Nana in 2024, it will be ideal if we could work to bypass them in 2024 with hard work. We could work to pass the mantle over to a non-Akan person. A non-Akan person, preferably from the north, under whose presidency we could secure the maturity of our takeover project. Say ye fa Canada Japan na say ye fa o manager padi a ompene. Ye fa Alan ye fa o manager padi a ompene. Now so ye fa candidate bi ofi the northern region. Na ye fight the manual. Ye betumi afa Senate project, ye betumi afa Senate hostel no. Ye betumi afa Kosombo Dam. Ye betumi afa PDS electricity company. Ye betumi o manager padi ye betumi afom esan say ye ne ye de 2 million hye ne nsa say oboyo mampanyini o ye mumu ti ye befa ne nchen ne ye de pese ye. Adwene wo fom. Enne mini aba se wo hwe ekwan ya ba omi aso afa so a ode contract e ma ni nuanom e fa ni nuanom no a wo hwe ekwan ya ba omi afa so e de contract ba ko nwotwe
Abraham Baumia
so sourcing Abraham Baumia one ne yere ka Mr. Aneta Baumia ejuma wo mo ye ni contract ato mo se wo mo nyina pene so se as ejuma ye de be ma Baumia se on ye president obetsena hom ye wiyo ballman kro no wagiatum enti onu so start chebi mani nua na wanya sika de ye campaign oba be pause
oma ballman no
oba nkofo na say o man Ghana kra
tibuku esi de na obeka say fake
na de ye areho ne say wo mutumi ka say obi ti say Nanabi say Nanabi mama onye good nti mama ne Pablo enye debate da.
So on the mole.
I'm saying Nanabi, ne fru na so keke. Na fru na so keke. Oni meduma. you know you say youth organizer but only adwuma no
yeah
the ebe yen say mama ye ma one Pablo eye dibe ampa wo hwe Ghana ha 4 years or say 8 years what we say Pablo ni Nana B
dabi
omo mpene da
se Nana B na nkase mo onko kahwe woni hweka
the onimu one say ya de ambulance case yakoko na no die chire no ya propaganda no gisike eno no nim ye enti enwoma e wo nkrata we mu de na de me de be twato ene abani yo magene se omo beton senate enti wo mo yo magene se omo beton senate no agenda wo ho ne se beton senate dia yo papa bi e friend doctor Akenti no sa painting on Director General of Senate. And see a uniform. Tinkrai. Good. See a uniform. And to me, page 6, item number I. Ecobank, under Ecobank. Or say we need somebody to be at the board chairman, to be on the board of Ecobank. And I say the seat is occupied by Director General of Senate. In phase 2 of our agenda, Kofi Bosompim Osafo Mafo, who is a Deputy Director General of Senate, should be made the Director General to give him the seat on Ecobank board. Secondly, the wife of Ace Ankuma is the group head of commercial banking and a member of the executive management of Ecobank Group. Our intelligence is that both the role of Group CEO and the Managing Director of Ecobank, Ghana, will become vacant in the next 2 years or 3 years. Nana has been advised to use all diplomatic avenues to support Esankoma's wife to fill one of these impending vacancies. In the agenda. And see. Your one and Nana Kufado Frey, Dr. Akentino say, Tinkrai. Say on step down as a Director General of Senate. Papa ne step down no happen. Nana Akufo-Addo say, "Well, Juma say ni now so we have gotten to the second stage of the takeoff of Senate. Na yantiase. Not knowing say agenda ne say yemfa osafuma for ne ba ne nkɔhyɛ ho. Yɛde ne kɔsɛ ho wi a now we take over Senate no ma ton dia ma Rock City Group. Eno na nka yɛkɔ so na say sɛ nyɛ okudie to ablakwa. Any trade union congress and can Nana Akufo-Addo etina ho ye din me yeton Senate hostel edema MPP for na nyankopon
pa for a TUC a group sa hodo no mo ko hia man pani kra wo ho no o mo che say na ne bu afu
me da se Nana Akufo-Addo onye vested interest in the takeover of senator di entina trade union ye ne contribute sika e de ko Senate and ye de Senate ye and na wo ton ye japade ne se menton di entina so man pani ne bufu so na ne bu afu
our interest
di emetete ene say omu take over Senate no a nana no nka wo share wo Rock City ejapade no sana meti ye menu aba me de besi
ebusia ebeto aso na ni nyina mu Safari Valley Eco Resort men kan for ma say weekend once normally weekend answer na me kan for dem awo ai say ye free hapa ye call Edem the say Master Karim eto baba me akwa na wona odofo ana emonkoda hom ebi a wo ye conference bi dwumadie bi e de Domba Safari Valley Eco Resort wo mo ewo edukrom dawum potam wunya duru edukrom pe bisase wo ko safari wo de ka safari keke ye be che oba bia ewo 0596 914 349 0596 914 394 na wono mo akasa why Medimosis Clinic and Herbal Center same wo mo de aduro bi aba Medimosis Garlic Capsule say ya no mo bi na ema umoja ni afusa na ye bibia nhye ye ne pedu ebe yifi afi ho na hoto aba wo motel wa Denta Bavia on the police station edi nhwene mu ASL building mu wo Ghana Highway Authority yard mu aka ministry so mo ho Eje Kojo on school for the deaf edi nhwene mu Kumasi ahenema kokoben 0244068447 0244068447 Kofi Abusia Penny na ejapade documenti ye ka che say eye fake enwi ase no kame say the energy a omo exert ye e de implement ade na ye sonko omo de hwesu bu o man sa energy na anke ekoyenim na on say wi ase kwa e ba senso de aba bepie wo nso mo si document ye fake
inu abia medase na memfa efri so da minchia wo production team na fe minchia menua dela na say edu ayi special prosecutor no so ye be kan bible quotation into obi a otie bia anya krado na ene esese ye tuhyirewu into baby adela edikosi no wako mumo into uhwe me so be document na ma yi kakra bi na me kurai me nkwa achiri I want to deal with a surface one. Any na forward no. Okay. In yanim eno na in yanim no. Na first paragraph no. Me wia na mako 2 3 4. E bia 4th or 5th na me de atoa so na ye wie. E ho na obehu say adwene bone a woka say obi wa adwene bone a wuyi MPP na Akufo Addo ene bawumia ebi ni bia say obi a wutumi hwe ogana fu anim kura na wutumi tum wim dialysis renal patient bia obi kosa no ho yare asabo unso nipa wa asabo ne kura wo na se problem no money na nso wutumi nya sika etumi koma achimabu akwa hene so mfa nu eduanua
de bi dware biem
festival
ema wankasa wutumi de bi fawim etufa etumi yi $12 million so wudi koye Pualugu dam ye kwenso a obubia bebi ana hwe ye na motorway dela me ne dela na motorway obi otie mi bia wo kwachire yensi wo ba be ye motorway 6 lanes and wo kofa company bi wo friend Motor Angels and what they buy one and a sign contract no ni made away what they say we and woman $2.57 million what the man and was omu ebu kwan no ho and okofa a grader and odudwiri baby nkakra wa face ka okọ akwana park bibi okọ abrochiri
asa ye patch eti wonam ho a etese won kwada
ye woni nkwa motorway ni obi onam ho bia experience o ka se de la ye nam ho e da wodi quota mo friend beauty man odi quota ni be good cement me ka se bi kire me ka chere say sa de take 3 months be se atom ampani ampa se ni nua ni ampa se na ya se papa sai en won ase ko busu biem wo adwene a enka obehu se quota na yi cement enka
esabe nyansa ben na wom
ye ba power ni amepe wo ma ho ane so onfa motorway o ma menye coordinator wo so patching of that me position bia biem of the motorway media na say a whole habo na ye wo ho no
yes
ye the pavement blocks and asese habo look at the crane akesipa and trucks efa so enye hwe enti se concrete na say e wo motorway a ni awo ya na say okofa machine no wa cut it size no now the pavement blocks no what's your size no what you say no gusu concrete what finish we sadi we
omo ne bi
no
so wo bi nso na eyabro
na be yi de bi guni kotokum ne hia no eno nti de me start wo na tie forward no paragraph 1 or say to our future made up of the present and the unborn nti eni ye imprempreni ene wo mana nanom a won ye nanado mu butai ni o nanado MPP bawomia ti won asem a wokani nipa won ye ene wo de Ghana e ba be hye wo good o say unborn for whom this will into a me find say inverted comment of a nation is being prepared to our foremost king of repenting the progenies the progenies spread across this world for whom and to whom alone this sacred document is prepared. One say paragraph 1 no. Now I say the way document yi ni ade nyina wo pe ejapade ne ade nyina no eye move won nchirima emre awowom eni nchirima won won ye eni won ofori pehini obi anim se achim abu akwa hene no saa ne wo frɛ no ofori pehini owo ofori pehini no wo ofori kuma na ye kuropon
do omayin fe kwa o say atwe ofori pehini fie
good na muntie yanko 1 2 3 4 5 paragraph 5 obi otie bi yanko na itie. Currently, with Nanado in total control of the whole entity of Ghana. Chef Edmond, sir, on no say or manging in an head and shed and sat total control. That's what dominate you be. And I know Ghana, we have a duty to ensure that we take over the commanded height of the essential fabric of the country in order that even in the event that Nana leaves the scene after the mandatory 8 years, the sons and daughters of Ochemai will be firmly secured and such control, both financially and economically, that we can no longer be ignored in the battle to control the destiny of Ghana. This is a man buff. A maybe Rollin Sika send me. Wanga won nimano, make kind of for when this man with him. O say, Okwanga, the way a manner MPP for it to be a diabolic editia NDC government at that time. Say, sir, I didn't know when you know what the woman and command to Pons. Yes, sir, do the way. Eti maybe can be NFA.
Nagana yamodia.
Menko the next paragraph. Also, to achieve, we need to appropriate the fundamental economic and financial levers, which would guarantee such control in years to come. Inti anya dia wo babaye 8 years, 12 years ahead. Or planning. So obi o se menena no ma won ye. No oje Ghana Japade na tie. Also, in doing this, we need to be strategic. We will have to work with other people from some of the diverse ethnic groups, including some carefully selected people in Asante and other diverse ethnicities or lands. What you say? The NTFA will be a Ghana and Sassino. It's economic, you know. And you want to say, Wako a Japa deal. Omangi, ye mineral a year warning in our resources now. Timber, diamond, gold, and then yakaka every year. Am I over $200 million every year? Into 3 years, no, I'm more than 600. You have found 600. To me, Kobophobia, echo your company for more. No one catch any part say, oh, my 500 million. Not for Ghana and Japan, for man forever over 20 years, 30 years. No handle, don't find the Teneka. No, I just say Ghana is Ghana won't every what they move $500 million, Abraham. No, now will Japan, Ghana mineral resources, no, any amount every year. No, Sika baby and one or $200 million. The reason why I always say they want to handle and dominate the economic height, take control. What's a lance now? What Ghana apart from ethnic, you know, say Asante, nipa wason, ethnic, a nipa doson. We are young northern region, but ni nipa biwom. Say young mama, say my Abuja Polans.
Yes. Ministry.
The Lakai, who can and we are sitting be anywhere for talking you. Include to Juma or any power the way. And then I'm one can include to Juma, also in Kissy Juma. One said, okay, to Tiabon.
Raha, no, Raha.
Rough. No, what to do? No, I see a pong into when himself, Bujin upon no better myself, man. It's region be our nipa, what any as you man. woko western no and woko fa obi te say ye nipa akoy okoka sam 500 yi sam Birekuduka deputy.
Yes.
It is region bia na center region no so won agu say krofo won to e be use won me na use asense ache na de won aye adwuma ye wi a na pomfi ahemfi ye mfa ma no na no so energy sector no control eni nti na ma ba wo me nia enya akwam nya koye sa software na ukoto prepaid ba wo me office o and na side wo hache wo friend hotel if you buy me office it will go prepared bia e commission na ko straight because na pono or you in charge you see the whole thing it lance the so few are senior bobi ekoka say obi abi wokurom ya no what the cantonment ni laboni land amano am okoyi na office wo ko kire no enne kufu ado babia etumi anya sika $6 million akobu restaurant e wo 4-acre land plot. I will come to me 4 acres.
Some Ghana,
you see, it land now. What fano? Nanko bibe to the Yakudru Achimota Otong. Nama really Achimota. Aquayana move why you're suffering and say, oh, Suben pass sorry.
Solo.
Debbie Munipayana or PPP. Sir John Whaley or the part man forever. Charles Owusu. You see the game and say, young Willie will demo, actually, you prefer to near Quacoji and Ade. Until last a year, Munchi, Yanko, the next page. Yanko, the next page. Also, suspicion that the project is essentially an authoritarian project. This point is crucial because, with one point, you are here one power.
Yes.
Because with electoral politics, electoral politics, we have to have our eyes on the numbers in the electoral process. We cannot be blatant until we are completely secured in the endeavor. It is especially so because so far the Asantes constitute the single most populous ethnic group in the country. Although the Asante group within the current MPP is gearing itself to take over the party after Nana's tenure in 2024, it would be ideal if we could work to bypass them in 2024. Nana Akufo-Addo, me 207, I watch them live. TV3, in a live. Or in a live, no. Adia me hu yin say me niabia me hu biribi say emra woto abani nyina wie na esese woko second round no woko ya no ne ayi kokasai alancherematin and wotu no fu ya no so inti alancherematin anka so wa concede defeat o say I concede victory. Where do you say ning sa election no and woko bo polafoko asum eye Lord Komi and woko kan say Lord polafoko chiche dollars. And no more born as more. Until Lancherematin, a casano, and Nana Akufo-Addo acceptance speech on one casacase. One who said in ya a dono into a few or don't know about. Then. And then if you should better buy a memoir. A fed you do so, who say, Sanya de la kind of fed who say, Obi officer more, no better buy and crew to Juman, kiss a Juman, on an asano. And what the command.
Because say a tradition. And almost follow.
Who only Kufuor contesting? Who is Kufuor no? And I only Cheramatin contesting. And not the Mao. And I wow could be no way. Who could be and I will say okay. And in Aminya, me we are Cheramatin. It's trying to say what Mechido made the mouth. It's here then the Fed would down one sir. Now when him Bawumia made the Biameka Krobia yetim. So the Ayashe Kromono. So won't ja wukura no eba beduma no nga hwehwe kwase wo no wode ahye densa
okay eba hwehwe no
enye dumpe wo wedum no won't wadwini senti wedum no nti wo pay ba wo mia ayi no nso afisi nim the thing that they can control him ono no betumi protect one na men kan we wie na men fa bensem no emra wie I say okay with the laka okay when we have finally captured the command and control sectors of this country for our private use. Tieniye. Unim paragraph muntieniyo. Ose when we have finally captured the command and control medasu of 4 word one now and control sectors of the country for our private use, we would then be in a better position to wield the necessary political and economic muscles to manage the destiny of this country under the reign of the House of Ofuripeyene. Now, and on the two, to be specific, we need to strengthen our effort to control the mineral resources. If you say what we did, we're going to be a Japan. A Japan and one and the if it is so good, what we know as well as the electricity, PDS. So I said, and water. It is near Kuku Kosuni and Yetia Wadi, Aqua Kosha, Fenyo Markets, Kosha Honum. That is it. The control water. If you water institutions, the sources of this project depends on the way in which we, for the time being, control the judiciary and the press.
Thank you.
So I said, so what are you waiting now? But to be control, as I said, what to me control judiciary and a press.
The Obeng.
It's a very young minimum the Lakayana. And then one was say, 1 million Ghana cedis. I yet it is 1 billion. No, what if my 4 journalists to be Okrumia? Quite Mr. Fakai being womb, a woman, my pretty needy womb. And one actually 4 journalists.
Page 30.
Yes, Obianya 2.5 billion OCDs every month.
Yes,
every month. We 10 billion and watch a many for. And what you know, you were journalists to be Okrumia every week. 150,000 Ghana, 500 million. It was a form. It was issues abbey. One come once. Yes, they can't. It issue. Mameka Semichro. Allegation be a new Abakromia. One radio station. I can mention it. City FM will break it up. Never market. Check fresh me money tapa papa. One year will be bad already. Why a newspaper review na no ngawie. Want to be issue NDC time. One and no more Martinamidu Abaso. A pistols of Martinamidu. Memfa we in Kawana me. Also, we conclude with a word of caution until we have secured the critical sectors under our control. We should minimize we should minimize the danger of obvious act of individual corruption. Individual just say ankurang onkun abekwa ko deal bia ebeba na odi ahye okutokum no ye minimize do eno na sa adubu ahene ase adubu ahene okoye nti oyi no individual so ukoye no corporate say na anas kai no say sika no konya no sa na my president $5 million but we near $3 million we say eno de e corporate wo penesa but say kan no nim ye pa kan no furiata eno de kan of nti no man tena wo sa no obi to be koji Afrism okay bank loan wo koji world international loan be a friend Afrism $750 million. What could you scan and what to $37 million a year? Until women at force anymore. And will be sad. What bono so what was any adachi in your hotel can. Until 30 says can went to be then and we are that is what corporate now I say. Yes, in order not to alienate the rest of the population, we leavers and all others will follow eventually. 0.20 the political terrain as we make the final push for the EC registration. It is important to roll out our final onslaught. Our final onslaught to ensure that NDC eventually becomes a fringe party A French party say, "Oba yan this year, oba so yan this do so. Into another touch line, and whereas we do not expect the Electoral Commissioner herself to blatantly cripple the NDC. We could deploy the other non-EC function, such as the need to maintain law and order, using our people within the security agencies to frustrate NDC supporters from either registering or voting. Brand Achampong will be key in this endeavor." If you want, what can Matty was one when you what would the NTFA the Brand Achampong to be Kujina baby? I'll say, young and the power more net in Sida, diabolic in or no what now in charge. So make sure say the NDC fu be vote one for one and cast one crofua, one recruit one military, any police in the mono, one from frustrated one. Send a bear one to Aba, Medas Ghana for
and say a Ghana for Mute and more shaying. And Kratea Yakama when you been at Nasiabon Timoka. Nemum. Amamuna wamo shaya so mo de brayeno eno na yenya nkrata ni bia yedo sodo sumu emamo Kofi Abusua pene na otene nka medi kaibon kaye se KNUSC public lecture bi koso my pene John Draman mama okasa wo ho yewra PV Obeng nyameto no nsafe no emfiedu no ye tie bi kakra bi aba say my pene mahama okasa.
PV's ultimate vindication, however, was contained in the tribute that President Rawlings wrote on the occasion of his death. PV working with presidents. Nana Chairman, PV's leadership qualities, inquiring mind and analytical rigor endeared him to the first 4 presidents of the Fourth Republic. As I've already elaborated, he was the presidential advisor on governmental affairs in President Rawlings' first administration in the Fourth Republic. President John Ajikuma Kufuor, the second president of the Fourth Republic, appointed him chairman of the board of governors of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. President John Evans Atta Mills, the third president of the Fourth Republic, appointed him the chairman of his joint transition team in 2009. He also made him chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, and chairman of the Governing Council of this very university, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. During my tenure as president of the Fourth Republic, not only did PV continue holding appointments that he had been given in the Mills presidency, but I also added the more onerous position of senior presidential advisor. PV was the prime mover of the Senchi Forum, if you remember Senchi Forum. It was a forum that was proposed by him and several others in order to forge a consensus to come out with a homegrown fiscal consolidation program. And he was one of the prime movers. He was one of the major resource persons, together with the late Dr. Kwesi Botwe and several other people, Nimoy Thompson. It was after this forum when the synthesization of the results and reports of the Senchi Forum were taking place that one afternoon, as a shock, PV dropped dead, when he had gone to a filling station. I felt lost because he had been the pivot in the whole Senchi process. It was only when Nimoy Thompson and Kwesi Botwe came to me and told me that together with PV, they had finished the bulk of the work and that all they needed to do was now to put it together, and that even with PV's death, they will be able to write the homegrown fiscal consolidation policy. And they did just that. But it is to his memory that that whole process eventually came out with the fiscal consolidation policy, which became the basis for the next IMF program in which we entered. Indeed, that fiscal consolidation program was taking hook, line, and sinker The only thing that was changed in what we had recommended to do was that in the second year of the program, we were supposed to do zero central bank financing. And that is how come in 2016, for the first time, our government financed its whole budget and its expenditure from our own revenues without taking 1 cedi from the Bank of Ghana. It is unfortunate that PV died when he did, because I'm sure that if PV had been alive, probably President Akufo-Addo would have found a role for him to play in his administration. Though I doubt if PV would have accepted. Lessons from the life and works of PV Obeng. There are many lessons to be learned from PV's life and work. Within the time constraints of this commemorative lecture, I may diminish aspects of his life as I highlight my preferences. This dilemma about which lessons from PV's lives and works I should share with you led me to what Chinua Achebe wrote in the novel Arrow of God. Achebe stated there that whenever people have asked me which among my novels is my favorite, and for me in this case, which of the lessons from PV's life is my favorite, I'm paraphrasing it, Chinua Achebe continued, and I quote, "I've always evaded a direct answer, being strongly of the mind that in sheer insidiousness, that question is fully comparable to asking a man to list his children in the order in which he loves them. A paterfamilias worth his salt will, if he must speak about the peculiar a paterfamilias worth his salt, if he must, would speak about the peculiar attractiveness of each child, instead of which is his favorite child." Nana Chairman, I'll follow the example of the celebrated African writer Achebe and speak about the peculiar attractiveness of some of the many attributes that we can take from PV's life.
My penny John Dramani Mama, of course, Ghana my penny on Amquasre about 2025, then I say January 7. Aye, or no one my penny I will see just on it in KNUST PV Obeng Memorial Lecture. And I Wakasa Ewasia Yatenekano. Mamen come for Ghana Lotto Operators Association. One more Asia Mudio more Bayema Lotto Operators Ninam. Waka Concerned Lotto Agents Association of Ghana. And I say Lotto Operator will be. Ewo Ghana ha wamoso wo Asia mudie bi o mahwehwe ene National Lottery Authority ebeba so 13th August nyame adom ebenada ebeyi 10 a.m. anopa no dubrem ewo Tan Palace Hotel Roman Ridge Accra ha bomodi anse wo de ho behye mu bi anopa 10 a.m. 13th August, Tan Palace Hotel. Lotto operators nyamone NLA Asia Power Specialist Herbal Hospital. SA yade to say hepatitis A, B, D, C, E, fatty liver, sciatica. Any dietete say nya prostate. Wudom pena ebu fibroid. Woba wodi bibidro beka wo kuma say yeah biaye efeya say Lake Bosom Chekwaino, one Joseph filling station, didn't Shenimo, Afe, Akraha, Kwabenya, one is always CP, Equine Sopokia say, and Atakra, the Anaji Estate. Ube to me after 0244544422, 0244544422, Megusu Award, the lad Edem, and Kofi Busia Penny Waha, Messi Wamudu Wamunama, it is a book Kwana show Mutimu, a banner figures or the Bamau, a day fact. Ben ope or the bema na ya wa yanka bin shemu enra and a special prosecutor obi ni mo se eno so ya dwuma na o ma hwehwe sebe ya ye beja pade document ho asam ka ena oba ebeka se ebas eho ensem ntansa na ye de bo man pani mahama no wo oni fo ho o sign ho sa se wo ma nya evidence bia amfa entia no Adam sa asem ya wote ebi mo ka se my penny Mahama said the uncrofu egu ne fi over the years enka won to ho na mo se obesi wo mana se wonya ya ma se emre na enjage wom ana se nature ene wo mo ekeka sa no eni na sese akra ne ho asan de eba ne candidature ade ya atese ebeboa
bedase bebre ohima am say sa Airbus scandal na ye NDC for ye nim say a political tool MPP for use wo esan say won fi opposition no mo ba no won ye allegations bebre so man pay John Mahama to fie wo Dubai wato down South Africa wato Japade wa ha wa yese wa ha na won ba ben mu na mfie nan na won nya bibi anfa enka endi adanse enti ena om say da kofa Airbus ne bai na Airbus yi uko Japade book yi mu a page 33 hwe de om kan ye say the 2020 elections will not be easy for us. With the current happenings, we need to sit up. Why are we so quiet on the Airbus scandal? Yes, we know we have not found enough to indict John Mahama. I say we know that we have not found enough to indict John Mahama. But a lot of Ghanaians were buying into our approach. Propaganda, no. Why have you stopped? It is time to go to the drawing board. We must make sure we use the court system. Listen, we must make sure we use the court system to help us damage the NDC and John Mahama beyond repairs. Let us start prosecuting people. That is why we put our people there at the court. Otherwise, we have a problem. A Japade document. 2020, a woman say, "Oman pay John Mahama be higher wa election." Enti yen kwani yen kopa bibi ne fa ngunu so. Ne nse ni dini. Ye say ni din wi a, yen hye dan fa nkrofo nko court. Esan say, ye won nkrofo ye di o magu court wo as judges on be boa ye me di nsem no. Ye ya ne saa, ye be say NDC din kura. Nipa da se ni tra ho adwinitim na Akufo-Addo ni na pamfo ni MPP fo ni achimfo ni baumia ne ache se book ya mo tra se ya mo tworo ye no eye me nwanwa se Nyankopon nku mu mayen
se nature no mo bedi
nyame ni mo bedi mo se mo tworo sa book we tworo nipa tworo book we di nipa boni sei na Andrew se ne nansa ana special prosecutor na Akufo-Addo no eyi no oyi no wie no ka kire no se ko na ko hwehwe Airbus scandal because e we Japa book nim na fa frofro na John Mahama ni tiri ho okay the same thing kire Martin Amidu ama Martin Abudu be ka kire se o man pay na Akufo-Addo di adwuma no ma no o piapia na ti kododo ntumi ni nye adwuma ama ojaye
mother serpent
mo aba tu ni dini friend se na Akufo-Addo no kro no a obo no esin kro no bia ntumi ni nye adwuma na ye nyina ye fi se de waka no na Akufo-Addo nko bejai
etasehemu diabolo
aba obayima eba Kisi Jabin take you over pe and now catch a Kisi Jabin say there is a case Airbus scandal on body so him na Kisi Jabin aya investigation ako America ako hu FBI ako hu dien okoba bi ako abrochire nyina ba endra no the report no beto abontene ne report no nyina se wayan hwehwemu a na ankosiaga omanpen John Mahama ye konkron or ye incorruptible or you clean bibie ni no na minim nipa miensa bi e so mo pa chew
na odi esia ma
nipa miensa bi e so mo pa omanpen John Mahama chew ani NDC chew de dika ye na Akufo-Addo ene baomia nipa mienu we diabolo adwomboni ne wo mutrim no se mo pa omanpen John Mahama say asemu a ensiye na mo de komo obi say yen kohwehwem ne emfa ntro nkoto John Mahama so no nipa mienu aka eye owusu bempa abrantia no otesa no ma no wo MPP no one abronye wo mienu emmo modern se wo be pa chew NDC so wan pa chew a embre bi ba
aponche kra ho ye papa aponche kra ho ofese no aboa papo na one na mo hosa no wo ye bie jagu so a papa wo be sikrom ho okofi abusu aperi Airbus
yes embre ntino e boni tew
okay
na da foforo yɛbɛsɛ aba abɛhwɛ
ejapade de yenwie
na airbus no on say ejapade no said ya the lady fi unim say onipo ba out ebe deny ejapade no ye achimbabu akwa hene
yes
owie ya na gabi eba be ka cheso obi obeje di bia na adwene nya adwuma or mental problem owie na nanado ankasa eba be ka kire yen say
presidential platform
yes enipa na ekun defend side da no won a warning one e kotena asenso hyehyai nti nanado be kan no eno ka chese saa ye beto ababia na amanfo no say no mesum meyire na meyire wi na wonim
asem hwan na agina
yina no agina badwa maka chese wo bia so wo yire da na wo no wakọ wi akọ akuti na so so wadai na wabeka uwie no so no wanka WikiLeaks de no wanka ni akwasi practice wo sori anopa wi wo utiri mu kusu
ano wanka
eno wanka so ti ase eno de oyifim na tie wuka obi a spread fake news a danado enti na make say we come back tie dala me we a me nkasa biem
okay
na no anen na machia tie dala kan ade bible imam
so ka so be my quotation
yes new living no en me there
okay
I fa de
no we
you intended to harm me.
Me pacho tobo quotation
Genesis chapter 50
verse 20. Genesis chapter 50 verse 20. Obi otie mintie. John Mahama enna me the powder buyer enka me tushire. Me bo powder e di ama na studio ha nyina ye bare. Yes, Genesis chapter 50 verse 20. New living a standard no mama yentie.
I say you intended to harm me.
Na sia no say mu bo pow say mu pese mu gumani ma say. Mu pra me. Mu tete o me ma abusuafo.
But God intended it all for good.
Tie. O say nyankopon nhihye mu no na ye papa. Se ne ye be ya ebesi nkrofo bi ye ene dey.
He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people.
Ghanaians, no, many people.
He brought me to this position so Ghanaians could save the lives of many people.
Yes, to save the lives of
many Ghanaians. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many Ghanaians.
Baby, John Mahama begina biasa quotation onka.
Genesis chapter 50 verse
20.
You intended to harm me.
Yes.
But God intended it for good.
It's simple as that. It is nyawoko she dem bo po ni nyina no. On say buabo won. Buabo. Edua wokas won sen ayi wo so no Mordecai abo wo so no. E na buabo hema. You see the whole thing. Anything quotation na no any. Nyawo plan say in election wo kwakofa ba ejapa na ade e wo ma me yaw the special prosecutor. Na me yaw so meeting John Mahama nanado halfway please no and say sang odi John Mahama di odi bem odi
and no cry na make can
just to please nanado oye eno na matiramidu okoye japa report no owie no de John Mahama one paragraph bi be share ho they just want to please nanado why you juma clean why you so ketu bin sabi Minia
Tuna de fita atare.
Mo tie me Minia David Dakuji Okufodia odo no ye deputy regional organizer ena Sariki Yako ena ye ankasa Segbefia Agbesi ena JK Mensa Abraham Kunse
ya papa Abraham Kunse ya chia
laita o Koforudia ono ani Abraham Kunse
okay lawyer Moses Ze baby I will be answer ya chia ya den sam no SCI inside politics dwumadie metina momo hema ba ko pebe poso hema e ma tankuri gabiga Mugabe Maase Emma yede ye inside politics dwumadie bremo Kevin Asante Nicholas na Okechukwu Innocent omo nyina bo echi do raf mo na mede dwumadie ebremo me so ama enyume no nsia brem kasebo yede abremo enkwa ba bia kosoa ene yenta medamose